to the chase. Word a sense of thrill, bit of genre here, and take time stand still. Diving deep where others just pretend. Think of kinds on the journey, chasing descent. Join the chase, be omnipresent. With Ben and John, no time is misspent. On the trail with Chase It Descent. Descent.
Oh, well, good evening, one and all. Good evening, John. As you can see, I've already paused it on Fiona Bruce's wonderful face there. How are you?
Foxy, very, very foxy.
Foxy lady.
Yeah, I'm fine, mate. I'm fine. How are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Right, bring it up to live and see where we are. Bring it up to live. Come on, let's just catch up with this nonsense. Let's just cut to the chase, mate. Cut to the chase.
We're just going, shall we?
Yeah, just go. Just go right in.
We're getting Adrian Ramsey
the
first.
rules for you as they will be for Nigel
Oh
Farage,
God. Okay, let's go and do something else, shall we?
To the point. And
Let's hear what he has to say,
my
shall
job
we?
Is to make sure that you do. Okay, let's take our first question, please, from Graham Wallin.
Hi, Graham.
Good evening. What would we have to sacrifice to meet your pledges?
Ginger!
Hello, Graham, and good evening, everybody. I think this is a great question, Graham, because we need to achieve big
God,
changes
imagine
in our
that being in
society.
charge.
We have an NHS which is severely overstretched, a social care system where people can't get access to the personal
you know
care
what?
they need.
It's
Our
like,
schools are crumbling, and we have a climate
how could you
crisis
get
and a
somebody
nature
that's
crisis.
wetter
We've
than
got sewage in our
Starmer?
rivers and climate
Well,
going
the Green Party have
unchecked.
managed it. They should have wheeled out Carla.
The Green Party is putting forward an ambitious manifesto for this election.
Carla.
Where we can offer real
We love
reform
Carla.
and real change on the biggest issues of our time.
It's
And
a
that's
dweeb
about offering
indeed.
A vision for a different type of society.
Vision for a different type
So
of
in terms of what would people be sacrificing, well, I think it's about what people would be gaining. Because at the moment, people can't get access to an NHS dentist. Where I am in East Anglia,
true.
we have a single NHS dentist in Norfolk.
We
and
want Carla.
Waverley taking
We
new
want
patients.
Carla.
People
We
can't get
want
access
Carla.
to a GP when they need one. The
Get
hospitals
off.
are full of patients in corridors, and we have a climate and nature crisis that we're not getting to grips with. So what we're arguing is that we should put in the investment and ask the very richest in society, multimillionaires and billionaires, to put in modestly
No, we
more,
shouldn't.
so that
No, we
we
shouldn't.
can have a society where people can get.
You know what
the
they'll do?
supplies
They'll
they
just
need when
piss
they need
off.
one. We can have a clean
I cast thee out.
environment, because
I cast thee
people
out,
say to
demon.
me all the time, they're thinking about what the future's going to be like for their children and for their grandchildren. And I think we all know that we need to step up action on the climate crisis.
Do you remember
both to adapt to
Ed
the
Miliband,
changes
when Ed
that
Miliband
already
was
happen,
doing...
but
Turn
to
them down a
avoid
little
the
bit,
runaway
so as I
climate
can
change
hear
that
you.
will affect us all dreadfully if we don't get to grips with this.
Well, should
But
we
if-
talk
if
about
we-
some of the
but if we-
specifics? Because
Let's
the
talk about
question
something
is,
else, yeah.
what would we have to
Do you remember Ed
sacrifice to do
Miliband when he was
let's
running
talk
for
about
Labour?
cars, for example.
Yeah.
He was just
Because obviously you
completely...
would like us all to drive one of us
wet
to
wipe.
drive
This is
electric.
Yeah.
What you're
the Green
suggesting is
Party's
that
Ed Miliband
everyone
right here.
has to scrap
Yeah.
their petrol and diesel cars by 2035. That's tens of millions of cars.
Tens of millions
That's
of cars,
potentially
yep.
the cars of lots of the people sitting here. How are you going to recompense people for doing that?
Well, because we're not going to do it,
Well, that's
quite
a good
frankly.
question, Fiona, and there does need
Well, I'm
to be.
sure you'd like an answer.
There needs to be a scrappage scheme as
Oh,
part
does
of
there?
any plan
A
to move
scrappage
away from
scheme?
fossil fuel
Fuck off.
vehicles. And of course, if
And
we
have you
have a-
costed for
I'll
that?
tell you
and
what.
how much people
And
expect
And
to get?
what about us that don't want to scrap our
manifesto
cars?
is fully costed, and what I would say is that as part of a plan to say
It's
we have a date
unworkable.
where no
It's like,
new
Of
fuck
course
off.
it's
vehicles come
unworkable.
onto the road, Of
It's
course, from
communism
then
at the end of
on,
the
there'll
day.
still be
It
lots of
has to be
second-hand
communism
fossil
Yeah.
or
fuels
some
that
kind of
people may buy.
authoritarian
But what it
rule
will
in
do
order
is
to
it will
achieve
force
such an aim.
vehicle manufacturers
So just to be-
to
I
install
hear you.
infrastructure and make it easier.
I hear
In
you.
terms of scrapping cars. So what exactly are you suggesting?
Come on,
That we
Fiona,
will
do
have
your
to
job.
scrap our petrol and diesel cars by 2035. I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
We want to have no petrol and diesel cars on the road by then.
Okay, so
but you've
given
got to
that
put
you're
the
saying
carrot
it's
in place as
okay,
well, Fiona.
well, that's what I'm wondering. So given that it's fully costed,
Fully
Fully
costed.
costed.
you there in your black and white.
They
shop,
always
let's
say
say
that.
You've got a petrol and diesel car.
Fully
How much
costed.
would you? What's your name? Ryan. How much would you pay him for his petrol and diesel car?
I'm not sure I have that specific figure.
But then how do you know it's fully costed?
Well, because
'Cause
I
it's
haven't
not.
figured out what the figures for our manifesto as a
Fiona's
whole
on the ball
to
tonight.
achieve in
She
terms
is.
of
She's
the
on- she's on-
transition
she's on it.
to net zero. And one of the big parts of that is we've got to invest in our public transport system because we have some of the most expensive.
Can you people
Oh.
hear this wet wipe all
public
right, or do I
transport
need to
in
turn
the
him up?
UK. If you can get
Let me know
onto
in the
public
chat.
transport at all, there are so many villages where I am in East Anglia where people no longer have a bus at all. So you've got to put the
Even
investment
Shalini's
into
cheering
improving
on
the
Fiona
public
Bruce.
transport
What's going on
before
tonight?
you start bringing in the measures around helping people move away from their cars or other measures that would eventually help with that transition.
Turn him up,
And
all right.
the
Should we
Green
talk
Party's
about the
that
public
positive
transport?
plan.
So let's talk about the public transport. So
Give me a
you
sec.
want to introduce a frequent
Don't turn them
flyer
up too loud.
ban,
I
a
won't.
levy and
Wake
ban
me up.
domestic flights that would take less than 3 hours by train. So say, for example,
I've turned
you're
him up
coming from Manchester
50%.
to London by train. It's actually more expensive on certain flights, quite a lot more expensive, to come by train than it is to fly. So
Of
again,
course, yep,
I
yep.
mean, just coming back to Mark's question in terms of what it might cost people, what would you do about that?
I mean, oftentimes I
think
can
that's
get a
really
return
good
flight to
question,
Paris
Fiona,
for under
because
60
it
quid.
absolutely shouldn't be the case that it's more expensive to get the train, often substantially more expensive, isn't it, to get the train within the UK
Yep.
than it is to get a flight. And the flight is several times more environmentally damaging.
This isn't
And
a good.
several
Most people want
times
to do
quicker
that option, but
and
the
more
greener option's
convenient.
got to be the
This
cheaper
isn't-
and more convenient
this isn't
option
a
as
good
well.
time
So
to
how would
giving
you
up
make
drink.
it cheaper?
Well,
That's
at the
what I'm
moment, there are
wondering.
huge
John,
subsidies that go into
right,
the aviation
remember
industry,
how I was
whilst we have some
the
of the
other
most
night,
expensive rail
right?
prices
Remember the
in Europe.
circumstances
And so one
that
of the
you
things we
know
do is to
that
bring
led
railways
to my
back into public
behaviour.
ownership, which I think people
Okay?
would really like to see, to ensure that they are run for public benefit, not for the huge profits
You can do
of the rail
this.
companies.
So Mark, you had your hand up again. What would you like to say? Are you convinced by what you're hearing? Are you convinced by what you're hearing?
No!
I don't understand. I thought the Green Party were against HS2 and schemes like that, which is improving high-speed rail, so why were they against it?
Because
So
of
we
the
want to see
environmental
far
damage that
more
it
investment in
caused.
public transport, and in particular in improving regional and local connections here in the Midlands, in the north, in all parts of the country. We did have concerns.
Good
about
evening, one
the
and all, to
huge
watching
cost
those who
and
are
also
watching
the
live. Good
local
to see you there. If you could hit the like
environmental
button,
impact
we'd
along
appreciate
the
that. We are
London
going to
to
rip the piss
Birmingham
out of this
particular
guy
proposal
for the next 20
HS2.
minutes. I might
But
be
that
doing it
route happening
alone
now,
because
and
John
what the
is
government said is it's gonna
dying a
scrap
slow and
perhaps
painful
more
death.
helpful
Why don't we just go back to the 50s? That's what the Green Party wants. They want us back in the 50s.
No, mate, they want us back in caves.
Transport networks for the
No,
Midlands,
they-
for the north,
I
for
think
the
they want
whole
it
of
back in the
country, all of our
50s,
regions.
apart from the fact
I'm
they
in a
don't want
region
us
in
burning
East Anglia
coal.
which is underinvested. I
Nah,
think
but, you
probably
know.
you in the Midlands and in the north feel your public transport's not been invested in. And my question to the government would be, it said it was going to invest that HS2 second leg money in local transport. Where's that happening? Have you seen the improvements to
My
public transport? where you
God,
are?
how
I
could
know
this
I
guy be
haven't.
put
So we
forward
need
as a
to get
leader?
that investment into local
How?
and regional rail services, into improving
I-
bus services, so that people do have that option for public transport wherever that's
Yeah,
practical.
I'm receiving an
The
image.
woman there-
Right?
Hello.
At the weekend.
Just going back to your comment.
wears lycra.
On scrapping our petrol.
He's
and
a
diesel
bike
cars and
wanker!
What are you going to do to actually
Of
put in
course
place
he
the
is.
infrastructure
Yeah.
across
Of course
the
he
whole
is.
of the UK to support that?
Yeah, absolutely. What's your name, sorry?
D. Williams.
D.
Fuck
thank
off,
you
you're
for
not
that,
getting
D.
my
I think
name.
That's an absolutely
Hey, look, I'm
crucial
listening to.
question.
I'm saying
You know,
hello
I've
to D,
sometimes been
John. Shut
asked,
up.
A gotcha
Yeah.
question from interviewers in this election about, do I have a car? And I do own a car, which I use
Course
when I
you
need to.
do.
It's a hybrid car. I would have
Oh,
got an
it's
electric
hybrid.
car, but the house that I lived in when I got it was a terraced house where there was no charging points. And I'm sure lots of people will face
And how
barriers
is
like
that going to
or
happen
financial barriers.
if you
might want
force
to get an
everybody
electric
to
car,
have an
but it's
electric
too
car? Is it
expensive
going to
or you're worried
magically
about the
change?
infrastructure. So that's got to have the investment, both from government, but also the reason why I think we do need to have a clear timeline for moving all of our vehicles to electric and away
Spencer
from fossil
says, I
fuels
bet he ate
is that
nothing
that
but
gives
tofu all
the
day.
private sector
The whole
clear
thing, yeah, I know.
timescales
So
to
that,
work
the
to
whole thing's
bring that
moot.
investment
The whole
in.
thing is
And
moot
when the
because we
government
won't have any
changed
kind of
the
vehicle
goalposts,
or
the Conservative
transport
government
once
actually had itself
the
in place
country's
for
been
moving
laid
away
waste.
from fossil fuel
Agreed.
vehicles. They pulled the rug away from the electric vehicle sector as they did from the renewable energy sector.
John
when
lost
they
the
were
wheel
all
a long
geared
time
up for
ago.
putting that
Shall he
investment
need
in.
it?
So
I
if
think
we're
I
gonna
might
get
try and
the
practice
business
dentistry.
opportunities and work
It could.
closely
It must be more fun than
make these
listening to
changes, we
that.
have to give them the confidence
He's been
that they
being
have on the
propped up
timescales
by
that are there. And
alcohol
it's
for the
really
past
odd to
2
me that a
years or so.
Conservative
Yeah,
government
I have.
would be so anti-business as to
hard
pull
going.
the rug away,
Now that
and
he's
also
off
be
it,
talking down the UK
you
so
can
much
see the
when we could
result.
be playing a
Did
lead
anyone see my
in
little
this
video
green
today? Went for a
transition
walk
to
in the
greener
graveyard.
future. People
Yeah.
say to me all the time, you know, what can the UK do on climate change?
only
given
5
what China's
minutes.
emitting? Well,
It's a
what
good
we
video.
can do is
I
what we've
enjoyed
done in
it.
the past.
Didn't
We
like
can
the
be
square,
patriotic.
but
We
other
can
than that,
say,
I enjoyed
we are
it.
going to lead
They
the
were just
world
playing
into
with
the green
an
industrial
effect.
revolution of the
Okay, well,
future.
I'm
with all the
aware.
jobs that
On
will
that
bring, the
point-
bills it will bring down, and it will create a better society as well.
Let's take another question, because that sort of
Come
leads
on,
into
let's take another
Derek Chapman,
question.
whereabouts are you
Where's
sitting?
Derek?
Hey,
Come
there.
on.
Good evening. It's lovely to have your green vision, but what I would like to know
He looks like the
is how
villain
you're gonna
in some,
get
you know,
countries
Which
like China
British mob
and India
film.
to go green.
So just to put that in context, so China accounts for something like 30% of global emissions. India's about 7%, and we're about 1%.
About 1%.
Yeah.
What an important question, and you preempted what I was just starting to talk about, because it is a question that's often raised. And of
About
course,
1% people.
climate is a global issue, and the UK government needs to play a global role in advocating for the changes
Here we
that are
go.
needed.
We
but
have to
also
be
in
seen
leading by
to do it.
example,
Leading
because
by-
what we do
that's it,
here in the
leading by
UK does still
example.
have an impact internationally. We shouldn't talk ourselves down in that respect. And also, the changes that we need to make for the UK will benefit us regardless of what
It's
other
not on
countries
Twitter,
do.
it's on YouTube,
Specifically, the
Shalini.
question is about how we're going to persuade China and India.
It's called-
It's on the channel.
I'll tell you what, I'll
So
tell
I'm
you
just
what-
Yeah, it's
I'll
on
tell
the
you what
YouTube
China's
channels.
Seriously, in terms of our global influence,
it
do you think
called?
China's
Something
watching
about-
us and thinking, okay, they're
The
thinking twice
SNP
about
or-
what
Oh,
China,
mass
for example, which
mass
is-
desecration
and
of
that's not the
graves
case,
by
but
the
say,
SNP,
under Labour,
something like
it would
that.
be the case.
Something like
Do you
that.
think that would?
It's there anyway. Go
do
watch
you
it.
genuinely
Yeah,
think
big
that
picture of
would
John
affect
Swinney.
Whether China would open new oil wells or drill
Aye,
for gas
we did
or
it.
new coal. Is what we're doing and think, oh, if they're not doing it, we won't do it either?
It's not just about what the UK does. It's about our role on
Yes,
the international
CD.
stage. And
Yes.
contrary to what you might hear from
Yes,
someone else
Groovy,
coming
you're
out a
right.
little
Should
bit
probably
later,
fix
I
our own
feel the
country
UK
before we
has a
start
key
worrying
role
about
to
the
play
environment.
on the
I
international
agree.
stage,
Groovy,
working with other
HK,
partners, working with European and other
That
countries
sounds
around
good.
the
I like
world,
that.
in pressing
That's a
for
cracking name.
better future, whether that's
cracking
for
name
the
and it's a cracking
environment
point.
or for global security
Yeah.
or for
It's a
human
very
rights
cracking
and
point.
justice around the world. And we
Groovy
can play that
Croag.
leadership role by working
And
with
like
other
he's, you know,
countries.
like has been
What we
said
could also
already,
do
we are
is
1%
introduce
of
a
global
carbon
emissions.
tax on carbon
Why are
intensive
we
imports,
wanting to do
because
any
it actually
more?
undermines British manufacturing if we're importing goods that are high carbon when British manufacturing can be supported.
They just want to
be low
tax the
carbon.
hell out of
And I
people.
think
That's
that would
all
be a
they
really
want.
positive thing to do,
It's
because
another
our
tax.
government doesn't count the carbon impact of imported goods. Wouldn't it be great if we did far more to produce more goods, more of our food locally, support our farmers, support our manufacturers?
Well,
then
yes,
we're more resilient for the
but you
future,
won't let them
and we're really
manufacture
leading the
properly
world
'cause
in
they'll need
tackling what are
fossil
the biggest
fuel.
issues of our time.
All right, let's take a point at the back there, yeah.
I think one of the things is that we are 1% of the emitters
Correct,
of
sir.
these,
Correct.
Greenhouse gases.
Greenhouse gases. 30% does come from China, but maybe what should happen is we buy a lot of products from China, and maybe some of the 30% should be attributed to the countries that buy from them. that then
no,
would-
sir.
We may stop
No,
buying
no, sir.
products from
No,
China.
no, sir.
And produce them in this country a bit on a
No,
on
no,
a
sir.
greener level.
That's not how it
Can I
works,
just
sir.
add one point to that, which is that we are talking about this in a global context, and of course it's a global issue.
It's
But
like
every
dealing with
action that we
children.
take
Isn't
I
it
could
just?
never, I
to
could
make
never be a
ourselves more
primary school
resilient as a
teacher.
country
Kids
is
are
good
too
for
thick.
Britain and is good for the
You know,
people who
my-
live
my
there.
friend
If we
who I
insulate
go
our
away
homes
with
to bring
often,
bills down, keep our
Lisa,
homes
right?
warm, if we invest
She's
in
got
public transport to
crisis
reduce the
management
cost of that,
mandatory
make it more
training in a few
convenient to
days
get
at her
about by
work.
public transport,
And I said
if
to
we
her,
support our
why
farmers
do you
to
need
produce
training
more
for that?
food
You,
locally
in a
by putting
crisis,
proper
if you're in
subsidies
charge
place,
and
if we
managing
invest
it,
in renewable
just talk
energy,
to
which is the
everybody
cheapest
around you
way
like they're
to generate
fucking children.
electricity. These things will tackle the root causes of the cost of living crisis.
Crisis
and they'll create
managed.
a more resilient future for people in this country. Wouldn't that be be a good thing for Britain, regardless of the global leadership role that we have to play.
We don't have a global. I certainly Joe Biden now.
We
such a broad
I was about to say, sorry people, I'm not doing this show with Joe Biden. I promise.
So let's talk about your.
But we will talk about him a bit later after this. Yes, we will. I
On
wrote
your
notes.
website, you talk
Will I get a
about having
cookie?
a world without borders.
Well done, Joe.
And you also talk of migrants who come.
You
will be
answered
able
all
to
the
bring
questions
homes,
correctly,
therefore
Joe.
no limit on it.
I
You
think
managed.
So, Kezia, thank you.
I think
for
Fiona's
the
as bored as I am.
And yes, we do talk about people who.
I think she's
gain
trying
the
to,
work
you know,
permit,
she's trying
Oh,
to
well,
get.
bring their
hold on.
spouses
That
with them. I
woman
think that's
appears to be
absolutely
culturally
right.
appropriating somebody else's hair.
Should be able to do that. And I think we need to have a calm discussion.
We're not here to talk about people's cultural appropriation, John.
Because
right?
we have
Because the
always
man on the
benefited from
stage
people
appears
coming
to be
the UK,
culturally
benefited
appropriating
economically.
a leader. Because he's not one.
We benefit economically, we benefit socially. I'm sure we all know people who come to the UK to support us, and we only have to listen to the horrific comments that were exposed on Channel 4 last night of people immediately around Nigel Farage.
Whoa, hold on.
Whoa.
Whoa, hold on. The actor? Is he talking about the actor?
He's talking about the actor that wasn't immediately around Nigel Farage at the time.
That actor, right?
Specific
Okay.
about that, 'cause that's
Yeah.
quite a statement.
Yeah.
It's not one that any other party, any mainstream party is making. So does that mean that anyone who wants to come can come? Irrespective of numbers, if you want to come, you can come.
So you're quoting something that people sometimes talk about as a
Adrian
long-term
Ramsey's about to
vision.
torpedo the Greens' chances of getting a single MP, I would imagine.
What I'm here to talk about tonight is our manifesto for this election for the next 5 years.
So are you distancing yourself?
You're not
saying
going
it's
to
not
win.
something that we
So
think
why does your
is
manifesto
realistic in
matter?
This next 5 years of this next Parliament.
But maybe
what we
within 10 years
think
then?
what we think is needed. Well, there are a number of things that need to happen. The first thing we need to do is to recognise that in terms of people coming here to work, you're more
John's
likely to be
out.
treated
He's fucking
by
out.
someone
He's gone.
who's a migrant from another country in the NHS than you are to have a migrant
Oh,
in front of
dearie
you
me.
in the queue. And
Well-
I've been spending the last few months supporting a close family member of mine who's been in the hospital, in Norfolk and Norwich Hospital, now in the care system, and has had fantastic support from staff who are severely overstretched in the NHS, and I hope we get to
What
talk
does
about
this
NHS
have to do with
funding
immigration,
later on.
though?
But the point I'd make is our health system, our care system are dependent on skilled people coming from other countries to run them, just as so many other sectors are, and so many sectors that have struggled in the last few years as employment
Greens
and
pretending
migration
they have a
policies
chance at
changed
winning is the
since
comedic relief we
Brexit.
needed.
So I think we need to
after me doing-
recognise and value the
Look,
skills
Groovy.
that people bring, and the people that have supported my
And
family,
groovy,
and I'm
groovy,
sure
groovy.
support
I have
yours
streamed
in
pretty
the
much
NHS.
every one
We
of
need to
these
welcome
debates
the
that
skills
we've
they
had
bring
in
to
this
this
country.
And then
And I've lost the will to live,
it's all
sir,
well and good to say
or
immigration's
madam,
great, and I think most
but I
people
have
know
lost
that, but
the
for
will to
12
live.
years in a row, we
So a
voted in
bit
a
of
mandate
comic
that would
relief
reduce
was
immigration, and it never
necessary
happened.
by
So
the end of
is it
this.
now your opinion that we should just forget that and go with...
So-
forget that that's not happened.
That's
Leave
what
it
we
be.
needed. Let's face it.
Well, there are a number
John's
of issues that we need to
gone.
address. We've
He's
talked
out. He's
about,
just left me
people
alone.
coming here to work. If we look
Yeah,
at
it's
why
just the
people are
Greens and
coming
then
to seek
Farage
asylum,
tonight,
which is
and
actually
then
a
we'll
much
go.
smaller proportion of the
We'll go
migration,
to a
but
little
the
bit
one
of
that
our
often
regular
gets the
Friday show all
attention.
in. We
Well,
won't
first of
cut
all,
the stream.
I
We'll
don't
run
think
straight
anyone wants to
into
see
it.
the horrific scenes
And we'll
where
talk a
people
lot
are risking
about
their
last
lives
night's
coming
presidential
across the
debate.
channel on small boats, and people
I'm
often
sorry,
dying,
but reminds
being
me of a little
exploited by
Lego
the
man, but a bit more
horrific, people smugglers
disappointing,
who
says
take
Spencer.
advantage of people in very vulnerable situations. We have a proud record in this country of welcoming people
you know,
Thanks
who are
much.
fleeing
Thanks
war
for-
or
thanks for just
persecution,
wandering off.
or increasing
Didn't miss much.
poverty or changes in the climate, which is a
I mean,
particularly
that
affecting
certainly
poorer
is a
countries
Joe
around the
Biden
world.
move,
And we
isn't
need
it?
to
Just
play
wandering
our
off.
role internationally, working with all countries in the world in supporting a fair number of people who are seeking asylum. But we also need to look at what are the reasons why people are fleeing their homes. It is about poverty around the world. It is about war. It is about changes in the climate. And that's why the Green Party is alone in this election in saying we would not only restore the international aid budget that this government so dreadfully
John,
cuts, which so many
join me
Conservative
and
voters,
together
let
we
alone
can
Green and
rule the
other voters, were angry
galaxy.
with. We would increase that budget and we would put more money into climate finance to support poorer countries in the world with adapting
Shalini,
to the
I think
changes
even
in the
as somebody
climate.
who has
And
been
the man you might hear
sober,
from later on will
right?
talk down changes in the climate.
I'm someone who's
But if
been
he's really
sober
serious
for
about
nearly 12
making
years.
sure that people around the world don't
I'm
need to leave
thinking
their
after
homes,
all of
and that
this,
we can
after
actually
all of
address
these
the real
debates that I've
security
streamed,
challenges this country
please send
faces,
me some
and the big
drink.
issue that people
Send
care
me
about
some
that I
booze.
hear
I
on the
need
doorstep
it.
is that people know we need far stronger
This is
action
pretty
to
much
protect
soul
and defend
destroying.
our environment
Isn't it
for future
just? Get him
generations.
off,
And it's only the
Fiona.
Green
Not
Party
in
that's willing to stand
not in
this
that way.
election, and every vote
He's got to get his 30
every
minutes.
vote
He's
across
got to
this
get his
country,
pound of
every
flesh, you
Green
know.
MP
If he
that's
doesn't get
elected
his...
will be a
Yeah,
strong
send booze.
voice in
Send booze,
Parliament,
Shalini. Send it
pushing that
now.
new government
do.
to be bold
Uber
in
it.
the way that's
Uber it
needed
to
for
me,
defending
baby.
our environment and for putting in the funding that's needed
If
for
you think
restoring our
Shalini
public
should send us
services.
booze right now, click that like
There are
button.
quite a few things in your manifesto. which a number of
Jesus
people have asked
Christ.
questions about,
We
some
need
of which not
music.
everyone may be
We need
aware of.
music.
So, Hannah Carroll.
No, we can't do music.
Why?
Just
My
Just-
question is,
wait.
your manifesto
what
mentions
the
scrapping
fuck
the Prevent
is she
programme.
wearing round her neck?
How are you planning to tackle
It's to hide the
hate
chins.
crime, misogyny,
She's got a whole Chinese phone book in there.
and Islamophobia?
Because
for those who
she's
aren't
talking about
necessarily-
Oh,
Islamophobia.
fuck off. Get out of here.
Individuals becoming terrorists. That's its overall aim, using local authorities, community organisations, and obviously police play a major role in that.
Blue Flame. Fiona's got quite a butch voice, hasn't
Thank you
she?
for that question.
Hasn't
and of
she
course,
just?
all of the issues that you raise need to be taken incredibly
Butcher than
seriously.
his.
Misogyny, hate crimes,
Misogyny.
are
What
are a major issue in this country. Violence
Somebody
against women and
punched him in the
girls is a
nose
major
at
issue.
one point.
Islamophobia
Look
is
at the
clearly
state
a
here.
major issue, and sadly, the divisiveness we've
Thankfully,
seen in
I'm
this
not
election,
watching this
I
on full
think,
screen, so I
play
can
to
only see a
extra
teeny
divisions
tiny
in
version of
society.
him.
And we all have a
Yeah,
role to
you.
play, whether that's politicians,
Hey!
whether it's any of us in society to
Thank you,
promote
Shalini.
more
Jill
harmonious
Shalini,
approach.
you're such
And
a
that's big issue in
doll.
your own
You really
party, isn't it?
are.
I mean, let's just talk about some of your candidates. Adam Pugh, who's a candidate.
Fiona's
in the
she's
North, who tweeted about
speechless.
Royal Navy vessels sailing to the Mediterranean to support Israel, obviously, because we all know there's a war going on there in Gaza. He said, "I hope they sink." You've got Natalie Anderson. She's a candidate for woke.
Groovy says people's opinions on the foreign religion should absolutely be one of the key points of this election.
Then one of his candidates say he hopes the Royal Navy sinks.
Simon Anthony, he's again a candidate of yours for Barking, compared Hamas to the French resistance.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I don't support any of those views that you've just outlined, Fiona.
Whoa!
Why are they still candidates then?
Yeah, why are
there
they?
have been
Shh, hold on.
concerns raised about particular candidates, as there have been with some of our candidates.
I mean, these
and as there have been
concerns
with
have
other
been around for a good few
parties,
weeks.
then
Good few
those
weeks.
concerns are properly investigated
Good
through
few
the right
weeks.
channels inside the party. Those channels are separate from the party leadership, which is a matter of good governance, according to bodies like the EHRC.
So, but the elections, hang on, the election's only a week away.
Only a week away.
Where there have been Green Party
6 days,
candidates
actually.
who were selected, who are no longer going forward.
Holy
out of the
crap.
574 candidates across
He's
England
only got
and
8
Wales.
minutes left,
We
people,
have
and then it's
heard that
Nigel's
sadly
turn.
All parties have had candidates who were selected in this election that have no longer gone
Okay,
forward.
but you see,
I mean, she's gonna go in on Nigel about that, isn't she?
For all of us, you've got a system in place. It's just under a week now to the election. These three people, with the views that they have expressed, reportedly online, hoping the Royal Navy vessels sink, comparing Hamas to the French resistance, whatever your process is, I mean, I've been reading about these people for some time. They are going to go ahead.
That's shocking.
On
I like that
next
little
Thursday.
jab she got in there. I've been
your
reading
name,
about these
and you're
people
happy
for
with that.
some time.
Yeah.
I can't comment on what all 574
I'm not asking
candidates
you to.
across the country
I'm
are
asking
standing, and
about three.
I'm not familiar with those three. What I can
It's all
say
in the
is that
public
if
domain.
issues have been raised, they're being investigated
come on.
internally. There have been a number
You
of
must be
occasions where
familiar
candidates
with
have been
them.
asked to take down
Yeah, she
posts
must
and
be.
have done so, and there have been other
He must
cases
be.
where candidates
Yeah,
have
that's
been
what I
asked to
said.
withdraw
I thought you
and
said
been
she
withdrawn.
must be.
But the general
No,
thing
I did say
is
she must.
that we live at a time when internationally we're seeing
Oh,
absolutely horrific
John, I just
scenes
don't give a
in
fuck
Gaza,
anymore.
with
I've done so
there's now
many of these.
Well over 35,000 people who have lost
I
their
just don't-
lives. Aid not
His
getting
nose is making
through,
me really
people being-
uneasy.
Their homes being blown apart. Just horrific scenes that we
It's-
were seeing.
it's just
just
like-
as the
it's like
absolutely
incredibly
horrific attacks
squint.
on Israel on the 7th.
I mean, you and I
of October
have
and the resulting
almost perfect
taking hostages
features
is completely
compared to this guy.
unjustified, and I say that.
I was going to say,
So
I
what we
certainly
need to be
do.
very aware
Oh,
of in
fuck
talking about
off.
this is
There's
that
nothing wrong with my
Muslim
nose. Look at it.
communities in the UK and around the world
Beautiful.
are feeling very vulnerable at the moment.
lovely
and all
nose.
of us, and I'd say this to candidates of any party, need to be very aware of
It's
that.
better
when
than
we're talking
yours.
about
Yours
this
looks
issue.
a bit
But that won't
wide
stop
on
me
your
standing up and
face.
saying that the UK needs to play its role internationally in putting pressure for there to be a ceasefire from both sides, and saying that it's absolutely
That's
unacceptable
true,
for the
says
UK
Emma.
That's
to
true.
Continue selling arms to Israel when the International Criminal Court.
Like I
has
said,
been
I
very
can't
clear that
actually see
Israel,
his
as well
nose,
as
he's that
Hamas,
small.
Has broken
So it
international.
You're
sounds
lucky, mate. You're lucky.
Go on,
because
Fiona,
we are in
correct
an
him.
election period,
Correct
and I
him.
mentioned from candidates that a full list of candidates for
Oh, she's made an error.
is available
Oh, no.
on the BBC
Oh, no,
website.
she's not. She's not.
Let's take a
No,
question
she's plugging
now
the
from
BBC.
Adam Nord. Adam,
All right, see what Adam's got to say.
hang on, we'll just get the mic to you. There you go.
Yeah, get the mic over
Yeah,
there. Come on, boy.
steady.
Trump government looking likely from the west and
Whoa.
war inching closer from the east. How will green
It
defence
looks like he
policies-
was
Bloaty head. He's got bloaty head. Do you remember Theme Hospital, the game?
Perhaps you are. And
Yeah.
He's got bloaty head.
I was about to say he looks like he was once in a boy band, but
Well,
really
Adam,
let
the first
himself
thing you
go.
talked about was
No,
the
he's got bloaty
prospect
head. He
of
needs to
a
be.
second
He needs to have his head
Trump
pricked and
term.
deflated.
Watching the highlights from the debate last night, my heart sank because clearly I want to see Biden elected instead
Of course you
Trump.
do, yeah.
But there are clearly big questions now over whether people are going to get behind him. And
You
press him.
think?
Green defence policies keep us safe. That's the question. Trident.
So in relation to Trident, I think we should listen to
Oh,
what a number of
beats and
retired army
tapes.
generals have said.
What a
and
lovely
defence
guy.
secretaries have
I'm going to
said,
put that. I'm
which
going to
is
put that comment up.
Trident no longer addresses the security challenges that we face today. It was for a different era. It doesn't address the global security challenges that we face
Ben's
either
jealous.
militarily or in terms of cyber
Beats and
security or
tapes.
other
My
issues.
new best
Now, of
pal.
course, I
Emma,
support
you must now come to my
the
defence.
budget and supporting our armed forces. with the great
Emma's
work
not
that
gonna
we
pick
do
and
to
choose
defend this
between us.
country and humanitarian
Exactly.
work around the world.
She's gonna pick
And there's
me
gonna be
every
more and
time.
more
No,
support
no,
for
she's not.
humanitarian
She's
work
not.
around the
She wants
for
to be
our
the
armed
meat in the
forces to do.
sandwich,
Supporting
mate.
them
Oh,
we need to put in that funding.
So your co-leader, Carla Denier, was talking on the radio
Carla.
very recently.
Oh,
She said she
Carla.
expressed a view that
Carlo,
having
isn't she just the
Trident makes
cutest?
it more of a
Thank you, Emma.
Lovely.
Emma,
rather than
yep,
deterrent.
that's
Is that a
true.
view you share?
Oh, good. That's
Well,
it. You're
I
out.
think that the
That's
UK
it.
has
Bombed
long
out.
supported the idea that all countries that have a nuclear deterrent should work towards disarmament. But interestingly, this government hasn't
I can't
actually
even put a
taken
comment
any
up 'cause I've got
positive
no
steps
control of this
towards
shit.
that.
No, but that's
And
not the question I asked you. In fairness, I asked you,
No,
do
you
support
can't.
your co-leader's view that for the UK to have Trident makes us more of a target?
Yeah.
What I would say is that having nuclear
That's
weapons
not
in
true.
the world
Having
clearly
Trident
makes the
is a
world
deterrent.
less safe than not having nuclear weapons.
But does it make the UK more of
Yeah,
a
but
target? That's what
just
I'm
because
it's
we
your
might
co-leader, I'm
want
just
to,
asking
or
share.
you
I
might
don't-
want to
I
get
don't
rid of
think-
ours.
I don't think it makes us more of a target.
Moving away from
No,
having a
I agree. It
Trident
makes us
nuclear
less of a
weapons
target.
Because you think it,
system.
in part because you think it makes us
Because
more of
we
a
don't-
target?
Because for two reasons. Because we don't think it reflects the international security challenges of today.
Well,
and
I've
because
done well
a
with the
world
title and
nuclear
thumbnail tonight,
weapons
haven't I,
is
John?
inherently less
Yeah, you
safe
have,
than
mate.
a
You
world
have.
without. But we need to
Yeah.
work internationally
give you that.
to
Gotta
address
give you
this,
that.
and we need to put the funding and focus on the armed forces that's actually going to address.
Yeah, he stole them off Buddy Holly. Beats and
We've
tapes.
got
He
a
did.
very, just about a minute and a half left. Let's very quickly take a question from Sonia. Sonia Fox.
Or Roy Orbison.
Let's see
So
what
hang on, we'll
Sonia's
just get a
got to
mic to
say.
you.
Sonia the singer?
Self-employed, I've seen increases in corporation tax, in dividend tax.
Reading
and
off a bit of paper, I see, Sonia.
And now you want to tax me even more. Why?
So you're suggesting raising tax for higher earners, but also removing the cap on national insurance, which obviously needs an increase. in what
Because
people pay
that's how
for those
these
earning more
green
than
psychos
50,270.
get what they want. Tax,
So thank
tax,
you for your
tax,
question,
tax, tax
Sonia. And
until
just to
you have
clarify one
nothing,
point, we're not
and they have
proposing any
everything.
changes to income tax. We are
Vons and
proposing
Derby
asking
with his
those
bro.
earning over
Yeah, yes, I know
50,000 to
that.
pay
The
a little
cider,
bit more
the
in
beer
national
and cider
insurance, because
festival
people
or
who earn
something.
Oh, that
under
sounds good.
50,000 currently pay a higher proportion of
Sausage
their
and cider, that's
salary
right.
on national insurance than people who earn
Sausage
over 50,000. And so we're talking about
Sausage and
£5
cider.
extra a week for someone earning 55,000.
I bet he's getting a
Now, what
sausage
would that
inside
get you?
him right
At
now.
the moment, NHS dentist. And if you can afford to do so, you might be forking out for a private
What's wrong with that? It's a perfectly innocent comment. Just because your smut-filled mind takes it off in the wrong direction. Don't blame it on me. I just made an innocent comment.
At least I'm old enough to still be able to.
Don't put your head down like
mine.
that. Don't put your head down like that. You can see your grey roots.
Sonia, for where, yes, we ask those earning a little bit more to pay a little bit
He didn't
more,
hear that one,
including
and
the
I'm kind of
multimillionaires and
glad.
billionaires. But it's about a different type of
I'll
society.
mute you.
Because we're the only party that's willing to say we should be willing to invest more in restoring our
Is this guy
NHS
not overrun?
and
No, he hasn't
defending our
overrun.
environment. And if we have a group of Green MPs in Parliament after the election, we can push the new government to be bolder on the issues that we really need to address.
Oh my God.
Out of time, but listen,
Woo! He's
Adrian
done!
Ramsey, thank you very much for taking our
Thank you very
questions.
much, Fiona. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Adrian Ramsey, thank you.
Get off, Andy. Get off and don't come back. The rubbish.
So that's
You're
Yeah,
rubbish.
First half of the
Never
programme.
come
Now
back.
Let's move on to our second half. I'd like you
Rubbish.
please to welcome the leader
She's
of
already got a
Reform
grin on
UK,
her face.
Nigel Farage.
Shut in green. Shut in green.
Here he comes. Big Nige himself.
So, as I said to Adrian and Nigel, I'll just remind you that you're here to answer the questions from the audience.
Look how,
You know,
like,
I will not interrupt you.
look at
That's
the
my
smile
aim,
on her
unless
face.
I know.
obviously you
She
throw up the
loves
point,
it.
or in fact
He's
the
a
question
charmer,
is
isn't he?
answered. So
He's
let's
not
start
said
with
anything
our
and
first
he's
question
charmed
tonight.
her.
This is from Mark.
Yeah.
You can see it running down her thigh already.
So, what is it about you and your party that attracts racists and extremists?
Of
whether you say you
course,
want them
that's
or
the
not?
first question.
Well, hold on. Who says he? That guy's making wild assumptions.
I've done more to drive the far right out of British politics than anybody else alive. I took on the BNP just over a decade ago. I said to their voters,
He
if this is a
did.
protest vote, but you don't support their racist agenda, don't vote for them, vote for me. And we destroyed them. I've never allowed in parties I've led anybody who
That's
wasn't a
true.
member
That's true.
of an extremist organisation to join our parties. What happened over the last weekend was truly astonishing. A tirade of invective abuse directed at the Prime Minister. I mean, the whole thing was unbelievable. It didn't ring true. So I checked it out. It turns
And it
out the man who
wasn't.
did this is an actor.
It doesn't appear to be true, yeah.
Contacted with the Telegraph this morning. He denied he was an actor. We then found out, yes, actually, he is an actor. He's worked in the past for
On Channel 4.
Channel 4.
Oh.
On his own site, he says,
Oh, fuck.
I'm a well-spoken actor with an alter ego. I do rough talking. Let me tell you, from the minute he turned up in that office in Clacton and I saw him, he was acting from the very start. He even says on his website, hire me, I do undercover filming.
Should we just, no, just,
This- now, let me finish.
No,
All
just
of this
in case
is
people aren't
true,
totally
by the way.
familiar with what you're talking about.
Well, these are the comments, and Rishi Sunak's reacted to them today.
Sure.
This is a total and utter setup that has been leapt on, of course, by our political opponents, leapt on by most of mainstream.
All right, let me just explain it for those who
I have
might
to
not
say-
have seen
well,
the
Come
Channel
on.
4 report. So let
Come
me
on,
just
Fiona, explain it.
Well, I
Come on,
expect you have,
Fiona.
but just in case there's anyone home who
Come on,
hasn't
Fiona.
seen it, so there was a report on Channel 4
Yeah.
where a man saying he was a canvasser for you
Yep.
said some absolutely extraordinarily racist
Endless.
comments. What you are saying now
And
is,
they
is
were
that he's
bad
an actor,
comments.
Oh, yeah. Horrible.
and that this is
Yeah.
it's a setup, effectively. Just so I can just say, Channel 4 say, we strongly stand by our journalism, but I have to put their point of view. They're not here to answer. We met the man, Mr. Parker, for the first time at Reform UK.
going for her
I have to put their
legs.
right to reply,
They
as
go
I
on
have to put yours.
forever.
We met Mr. Parker for the first time at Reform UK.
She's all
headquarters,
legs.
Where he was a Reform Party canvasser. They say they didn't pay him.
Do
They
you
didn't
fancy
know him,
Fiona Bruce,
and that
John?
he was filmed covertly. So
A
if you
Melly
want
comment.
to
Look
set
at
up
the
a
length of those
You've been saying
legs.
that all day.
Yeah,
How-
yeah, but do you
No.
fancy-
Are you saying that
not at
Channel
all.
4
Are you sure?
paid
Yeah.
this guy? They're denying it. Paid
Seems
this
like
guy.
you might
Channel 4
fancy
used a-
Fiona Bruce,
Channel 4
John.
used a production package, which of
No,
course gives
no,
them
not at all.
deniability. What I have no doubt about is this guy was in his alter ego. I've even found now on TikTok this guy doing sort of Alf Garnett type stuff. This was a comedy act, but it was designed to hurt us.
Yeah, I thought
And
so too,
sadly-
Emma.
Sadly, some people believe it. Let me promise you.
So who do you think
I
would have
want
done this,
nothing
Nigel
to
Farage?
do with people like him, and he has nothing
don't
to
think so.
do with us. He's somebody who turned up. We didn't know who he was, and by sheer coincidence, he happened to get teamed up with Channel 4, who we'd worked
Sheer
for in the
coincidence,
past.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
So in order for this theory to be right, I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I don't know.
Not a theory.
That's
In order-
sheer
Love
coincidence.
telling.
No, what I'm saying is, in order for what you're suggesting to be correct,
Yep.
someone, I'm assuming you're saying, you're being careful not to say it's Channel 4, but someone must have paid this man to
Perhaps not.
basically pretend to be a racist and therefore to smear you. So that must be someone from within the media.
Well,
I assume.
it
Is
could
that what you're saying?
not
It
necessarily.
may well have been the
Not
production
necessarily.
company,
He could
or
be
it's
an
the guy
activist.
himself who wanted publicity to get more parts. I
What,
don't
and then
know.
contacting
What I
the
know
media
is-
company to make sure they filmed
What I
at the right
know
moment?
is this is a political setup of astonishing proportions.
Mark,
He
what do
could
you
have
think
done
of
it
that? Since you asked the
himself.
question.
Absolutely,
I
Shalini.
mean,
I'm
that's
thinking the
one
same
example
thing.
from today, but what about the multiple examples from throughout your career? I mean, I'm asking about everybody.
Hold on, he's got a second
you know, you said
question.
things about shooting people coming
Yeah.
across.
No.
Get
No,
the
sorry,
fat
this is
Oliver
what
Reed
I
off.
said yesterday.
Look,
And by the
it's-
way,
it's the
if you doubt
waistcoat.
What I'm saying,
It's the
I'm
waistcoat.
back in Birmingham on Sunday. We're holding an event. It'll be the biggest event of this election campaign. I'd love you to come along. Our star speaker, Zia Youssef, who is a practicing Muslim but a proud Brit, and he's going to come along and explain to us why immigration and relations between communities and the growth of extremism are the most important things in this campaign. And one
The
more
guy
thing.
in the audience
When I went
is
into
one
the
of those
European Parliament 5 years
people
ago,
who is
at the head
on
of
middle class
29
wages, looks down on
MPs, the
everybody
biggest
else
group in the
who's
whole of
working
Europe,
class and just thinks they're all
They
a
were the most
racist.
diverse
Yeah, he
group of
does.
politicians
And when actually he's probably the
Well,
closet
you made it
racist
quite clear
himself.
that-
Stand on my record.
Almost.
Okay, well, let's
well,
talk about your record.
maybe.
You've very clearly wanted to.
You were about to say almost certainly.
Anyone.
Let's talk about some of your candidates. So
let's talk about some of his
I've thought long and hard
candidates.
about
Let's
this.
listen.
The kind of language that is ascribed to them, that is reported as having been said by them, is not the kind of language I would ever use. But also, we know what we're talking about. And
Yeah,
forgive
but
if I
Fiona,
offend you.
once again, you're not working
so
class.
Leslie Lilly, candidate
No, she's a
for
posh
South-
bird, isn't she?
Southend, Eastern
Yeah.
Roxford, who
Yeah.
settled migrants on small boats. More scum entering the UK. I hope your family get robbed, beaten, or attacked. Edward Oakenfull,
Ooh.
your candidate for Derbyshire Dales, who says importing
Yeah, but they
sub-Saharan
weren't
Africans would
Nigel's
dilute
candidates
the
because he
IQ of the
wasn't
country.
running the party at the
Your
time these
candidate,
people were
Robert
hired.
Lomas
Richard
Barnsley,
Tice's
who
candidates.
says,
Richard Tice, yeah.
and these are difficult words to say, black people of Britain should get up off their lazy asses and stop acting like savages.
Oh, I'm gonna
apologise
clip
for offending by
I don't know any of them, obviously, but
I'm going to go to sleep listening to Fiona Bruce saying, black people in Britain should get
I organised a professional London vetting company.
Jesus!
Up front to vet our candidates. They didn't do it. Now, I think
it's just a pity she never used the N-word.
I want to listen to
Seeing it
Nigel.
from the Russia
Shut up,
hoax to
John.
What happened with this guy yesterday? And the reason is very clear.
Well, hang on, that's not the question I'm asking. The question I'm asking, and Mark here talked about things that have been said by candidate. Now, hang on, Nigel Farage, please answer this question. This has been widely
Oh, he's gone.
reported. These
Thank
comments,
God.
hang on, let me finish. These comments by your candidates have been widely reported. You don't need a vetting company to find them. They're out there in the public domain, in the newspapers, online. Why
Richard
are they still
Tice's
standing as your
candidate.
I inherited a start-up party. Remember, I've been doing this.
Why are they
I've been
still
doing
standing
this-
as your
hang on.
candidates?
Well, they're not. They've been disowned. In most cases, they've been disowned. With people like Lily from... I mean, honestly, what he said is criminal.
So why is it your
isn't just
candidate?
wrong. I have no idea why this man...
You are the leader.
I wasn't the
You
leader.
are now.
I inherited this. It was a start-up party. I paid a
Oh,
professional
dear.
London vetting company to weed this out. The work wasn't done. We're a start-up, and all start-ups, whether they're business or political parties, get wrong uns in the
Well,
end.
now I've pointed
I
it out to
apologise.
you. Are you going to withdraw your support from these people?
I wouldn't want anything to do with them.
So shall we take it that you have withdrawn your support
Yes,
from these three
I want
people?
nothing to do with them.
Okay, let's take some more
I
questions.
mean, you
Just
can't
the
make it
man
any
in the
clearer than that, to be fair to
Yeah,
you.
take a telling, Fiona.
They have start-up companies, but none of them employ a whole slew of massive racists like
This
you.
entire half hour.
Oh. Whoa, that's...
I credited you with more intelligence than to say it's an actor. And what I want, I'm not an actor myself, but I want to defend actors. Not all actors are racist, but, you know, probably the only actors who are racist are the actors in your party.
Well, hang on a second.
Oh,
Hang on a second.
my
The Labour
God.
candidate...
Whoa,
we're
logs.
talking about Clacton here.
Yeah, here we go.
Wind
Labour
it in a bit.
This is... No, stop.
has made some deeply
He has.
offensive, racist remarks, so much so that Keir Starmer has banished him from the constituency and said, go to the Midlands. So you get people in all parties
That's true.
saying wrong things and
Yeah.
bad things. Wherever
Yeah, you
I
do.
find it, I always drive it out. And I've done that all my career.
Well, they're still standing, but from what I understand, you're going to stop them standing for reform anyway from now on. Yes, that top there.
I just want to know, when are you actually going to take responsibility of your actions and say sorry and stop making excuses?
I'm not going to
Well,
apologise.
he hasn't done
I'm not
anything
gonna
wrong.
apologise. For what? And we'll find out the full truth. But I promise you, what happened over the weekend, what was on the front page of the Times today, is a setup, a deliberate attempt to smear us. It's almost, when you look at it, what he said is almost unbelievable. A constant stream of invective. And he does this for a living. He does it professionally. And he came along in his
This is the
alter
thing.
ego
If
and
Nigel
it's
himself
wrong.
had said some of this stuff, I would expect him to apologise, right?
It is,
But why should he apologise for what other people have said?
Nigel Farage, I just have a question about being a paid actor. You also run you are online on a website called Cameo where you'll record paid shorts of you doing roasts or pep talks for people. I was just wondering, your cheapest ones you do are £70. If I paid you £70 now, would you admit that this country would be nothing without our rich history of immigration?
Well, I tell you what.
Go on. Do it.
Go on, Nigel. Say
This
it.
is what's gone wrong. Because you talk about immigration, and it ran from after the war up until the millennium at net 30 to 40,000 a year. And yes,
it did.
It worked. In fact, we had the most successful immigration policies of any country in the whole of Europe. No question. Now, it is so totally out of control. Just think about this. 2.5 million people have come in the last 2 years. You wonder why you can't get a house. You wonder why your rents have gone up 25% in 4 years. You wonder why our infrastructure...
You can see her brain is sort of...
You wonder why...
That can't be true. That can't be true.
Every 2 minutes.
Yeah, she's getting angry.
And that's the
She is getting
excuse.
angry.
It's now
She's getting angry
running
from
at
what he's
numbers
saying.
that are literally unimaginable and are diminishing
Because
the
university
quality of
didn't
life
teach her
of
that.
everybody in this country. And frankly, this should be the biggest issue of this election.
Okay. So many of you asked about this topic. I'm just going to go take a couple more and then I'll move on. Man in the blue and white check shirt.
I mean,
just listen to you talk about how the establishment are against you and how everything's a conspiracy theory. Why can't you accept that it's your violent racist rhetoric that's causing
He didn't
this?
say that.
It's not an establishment that's
I'm
against
sorry,
you.
that is unfair and wrong in every single way. I just talked there a moment ago about the immigration problem, which is numbers. I talked a moment ago about Zia Yusuf, a practicing Muslim in Britain who's the biggest donor to our party in this campaign. I talked about my previous history of really helping to close down the BNP. I don't accept, sir, what you've just said for one moment.
Okay, let's just one more point. The man in the shirt just behind you, yeah.
Fair enough.
You said within the last 2 years. My wife is a non-UK national from Nepal. She came to the UK within the last 2 years. Are you saying people like her are not welcome anymore?
What I'm saying is we cannot have limitless numbers of people coming into Britain. It is making us poorer. It is diminishing our quality of life. We need to get back to where we were, where we had a sensible policy, where people came to us from friendly countries all over the world, and it was a success. We
I mean,
cannot go on
to be fair,
with
if I
net
actually ended up in one of them
migration
debate rooms in the
running at
audience, I'd sit there with like a cowboy
Despite, by the
hat
way,
and some ridiculous
the
costume on.
Conservatives promising
To be fair.
4 consecutive manifestos
'Cause I don't
to reduce
respect
net
any of them.
migration to tens of thousands a year. And the funny thing is that Keir Starmer, on his 6 priorities, doesn't even talk about this issue, simply doesn't seem to care. And I think people are joining up the dots that actually the overcrowded country we're living in is not working.
Okay, now we've got a question related to that, but before
I
we
mean,
do, I just have to say,
right.
again, because we are in an election
He
period,
is
and I
a
have
troll
mentioned
and he
some
is,
particular
you know,
constituencies.
he's very
The full list of
entertaining.
candidates for
And
those
he's
constituencies is available on
fashioning
the
his
BBC
campaign
website.
on that of Donald
Dee
Trump
Williams,
doing the
let's hear
rallies
from
and
you.
things like that.
Yeah.
He's
evening, Nigel.
He's positioning himself to be the populist, but do you
Your
really think he
core
would save
pledge
us?
Concerning illegal migration.
That's up to you, I
states that
guess.
Migrants in small boats could be returned to France. How will you achieve this?
Well, we have something called the Royal Marines, if it comes to it. But you know what? We won't need to do that. I was the first person 4 years ago going out into the Channel, filming this, saying...
He was
there a massive
actually.
problem
I
coming down
remember
the
that.
tracks.
Well, he was the first politician.
Everyone laughed at me.
He was the
But
first
here we are,
politician.
4,000 boats later, 128,000 people later, 91% of them men, mostly young men.
So Dee is asking very specifically,
So,
how will this be?
so,
How will you return
we
people
cannot,
from boats to France?
We cannot, well, we won't do any of this. We won't deport anyone to Rwanda. We won't solve the problem in any way at all until we leave a meddling court in Strasbourg that has gone way beyond its powers. We have to leave...
You're talking about the European Court
We have
of
to
Human
leave the
Rights.
European Court of Human Rights, get back our own sovereignty, declare that anyone comes via this route will not get refugee status. And if that doesn't work, we'll pick them up in the Channel and take them back. And by the way, we've given the French £500 million. They should not,
We have done
under the
that, yeah.
international law of the sea, have their navy escorting boats.
They
to
should
our
not be
12-mile
doing
line.
that, no.
We did a
No, they
tough
shouldn't.
negotiation with the French as well. The other parties...
And do you know what? They're
literally
fucking
have nothing to
arseholes
say
in
about
Calais.
this, because when we did
Oftentimes they
try
go on little
to send a
go-slow
plane to
strikes.
Rwanda, it was actually on the runway
Mm-hmm.
when the court intervened.
If you're returning these small boats to France, surely it's going to be willing ports that are going to accept these small boats back. How is that going to achieve?
Well,
where are these willing
well,
ports?
the Australians towed the boats back to Indonesia 12 years ago, and that ended the problem.
But the
And very-
Australians
and-
had
and
a
very
deal. I think what
interesting.
Dee is getting at is
No,
France-
they didn't.
You know, I'm
What the Australians did
diplomat
was they
for
put
France,
them
but
on an
France is
island.
unlikely to take kindly, as you said
They
yourself.
put them on an
to the idea
island
that You come along and you
and
suddenly
then
get them out of
denied them
boats.
entry to the Australian
Go back
territories.
over to France. I don't know if you've got a landing craft or something, and then you
issue-
make them. No, hang on. Let's just the practicalities. I think that's what Dee's asking. And then they step out onto the sand or onto. What happens at that moment?
Well,
do you
they've
think the
come-
French are just going to take?
Well,
that?
they've come from the sand. But here's the point.
No, but do you think how is that going to work? No, do
They
you think the
won't
French will just
come.
accept it?
If they know they can't stay, they
What do you mean,
won't
do you
Yeah,
think the French will
he's
just
right.
accept it?
In the last year of the Labour
If-
government,
if you
they
start
deported
sending people
47,000
back-
people who come here illegally.
Okay, but they
won't
won't stay
come.
if they won't come if they can't stay. Dee's asking
That's
very
the point.
specifically.
That is
But
true.
I mean, that
Will
is
it
a good
work? So your
point.
plan
I'm telling
to
you,
put
we
them in
leave the
small.
ECHR.
Hang on, to put them. I'm just repeating your words. To put them in small boats and take them back to France.
I said-
How is that practically
I
going to
said
happen?
we leave the ECHR, we declare that no one that comes via this route gets refugee status. And by the way, we've given 500,000 people refugee status since 2016. We're very, very generous. And we deport anybody that's here illegally, as we used to, under Labour and Tory governments. No more boats will come.
But how will you
If
get the
they
countries
do-
to accept
If
them?
they do, we get the Royal Marines to take them back to the beaches from which they took off. I hope it doesn't come to that, but if it does, that's what we have to do. And very interesting that Keir Starmer echoed my words the other night in the debate. He said
Yes,
it's a
he did.
national security emergency.
He did.
Boy,
He
is
did
right.
say that.
Because these are young men coming from countries.
I mean, I was
plagued by
losing.
terrorism,
You don't know
I was-
who these people
plagued
are.
by gang culture.
I was losing the will to
Many of
live
them
at the
have fought in
time,
wars,
but
and
he
coming
did
from
say
countries
that.
that don't even treat women as second-class citizens.
let's-
It's a very, very serious.
So anyone that's
I'm still
still
not
hanging
entirely-
in
do-
there,
do- have we
we
got
are
an
going to
answer to your question,
discuss
do you
Not
the,
exactly. No, I've just got this
Trump
people
Biden
on
measure.
the, the D-Day landings in reverse when we're sort of offloading all the.
But we will give you a little too.
See these middle-aged women
From
that
some more of our, yes, the man knows strategy.
bleeding hearts.
Hold on,
Nigel,
hold
if
on.
you had to flee persecution from the UK and
Is this
seek
all this is going to
asylum
be
in
about?
a different country,
Yeah.
how would you like to be
Nigel,
treated?
you're a racist. Nigel, you're
The way
this.
that
Nigel,
we've
you're that.
treated
That seems to be
500,000
what it is about.
people since 2016, and the way we did in the past with the Ugandan Asians, and the way we did a couple of times.
I
with
want to hear his
Jews fleeing Russia or
solutions.
fleeing
Do I agree with
Austria
him? Do
or
I agree with
Germany.
them?
We
Well,
of all European countries.
I just want to hear what he's
have
got to
always
say and then take
understood
the piss out of
what
it a little bit.
genuine refugee is.
Really?
I promise you, the vast majority of these young men crossing the English Channel do not and never would have qualified as refugees.
Let's take one.
I
more
agree
point.
with that.
I presume you're going to talk about this. The man in the black and white shirt.
A lot of the language you use about political smear campaigns.
He's been on
the
before.
biggest rallies is quite reminiscent to me of Trump in America. Would you say that you're
I did say that.
like-minded characters?
No, we're incredibly different people. Incredibly different people.
You're certainly emulating his
I happen to
strategy,
support him
Nigel.
For one big reason. I think the world's in a more dangerous place than it's been at any point in the lifetimes, probably of any of us in
I
this
do
room.
think we're being
fear what is happening in the Middle
sleepwalked
East,
by Sleepy
what is
Joe
happening in
into a nuclear
Ukraine,
war.
What potentially
Just
could
saying.
happen in Taiwan. I see Iran, Russia, China lining up together. I'm very fearful for where we might be. And I think peace comes through strength.
Also, there
and
will
not
be a
through
little
weakness.
break between
I think
this
Biden has
and
been an incredibly
the next
weak
segment
American
when we
president.
play
That
the
was
all-in
evident
intro
on that
for
debate
you.
last
We're
night.
not going away, so
Strong.
We're
don't
not
go
going
away.
Somebody who's a peacemaker.
We're not going away.
Remember,
We're just
the
going to
Abraham Accords
refocus
for Arab
ourselves
states
and
of Israel
recenter our
joining
minds.
up together.
Try
That's
and
why
regain
I
the will
support
to live, I
Wasim
guess.
Chowdhury, let's take a question from you. Whereabouts are you, Wasim? Ah, there you go.
Evening. So you claim that Brexit will help Britain prosper. Why hasn't it?
Because it
In
wasn't
economic
done.
terms, if you look at our exports,
What the fuck did he
we've
say?
gone from the day we voted Brexit to now.
He said, you said
from being the
Brexit
world's
would make us
seventh
economically prosper.
biggest
Why hasn't
exporter,
it?
The world's
Right,
fourth
okay, thanks.
biggest exporter.
Not
So-
in
so-
trade, as I'm sure you'll concede.
Well, trade,
in services,
trade and services.
In services and gold, but
It
not
does
in
look
trade.
like they
Trade
hired
is
the
both.
audience,
Trade is
Dread-Eye.
both. So,
Not in
Oh,
goods,
of
I'm
course
so
it
sorry,
did.
goods.
No,
The
good.
BBC
Well,
packed
that
audience.
Things is part of the reason for that. But I want to say this. There are two massive disappointments with Brexit, and one of them is economic. 5.5 million men and women
Like we
in
left,
this country,
but it's like Brexit in name
running small
only.
limited companies or acting as sole traders, living under a huge, burdensome rule book, living under VAT thresholds that are too low, damaging
Emma,
genuine growth and prosperity.
Your dreams
in the
have come
economy.
true. I've opened
Those
the
of us
shirt.
that voted Brexit those of us that saw an 80-seat majority for Boris Johnson in 2019, the opportunity to free up those small businesses, to get rid of rules and regulations, and the Conservative government have done none of it.
That's
And
true.
That is a huge regret.
That's
Not
true.
a failure of Brexit, it's a failure to deliver what people voted for.
Wasim, since you asked this question, if you don't mind me asking, how did you vote in the...
I know, right, Emma?
I voted to leave.
And are you asked this question because you're happy with what you're seeing now, or unhappy?
I'm unhappy. I understand Nigel's not the Prime Minister, but...
He's not
I mean, on the
responsible
ground
for
level,
any of
the
it.
common working man and woman.
That guy's got a nose like a fucking Nimrod bomber.
Really struggling with the cost of living crisis. I don't think... I mean...
Yeah, Gonzo
what's
from the
needed at moment is
Muppets.
So vast that I don't think anyone's
Wow,
really
look at
it! I think many working class people look to you.
To Nigel, do you?
To Nigel to deliver on Brexit. I'm a Labour voter, but I voted for Brexit, and I thought, I thought things would possibly change, as did many people. But on the ground level, if you look at what's happening at the moment in the country, there's a lot of poverty, and there's a lot of people who are, struggling at the moment, and who cares about them? No one cares about them, because I think you have...
No, nobody does care about them, because most of the people around you, sir, are middle-class lovies who look down their nose at working-class people.
Common man and woman is
Nobody cares about us.
Good to just talk about one issue, but there's a much wider issue.
And obviously, Nigel,
I totally get that, and that's why the main policy platform, domestic policy platform that we're running on in this election that will make a huge difference to that group of people you're talking about is to lift the threshold at which people start paying tax to £20,000 a year. Why? Because it means the lower paid in society will be better off, and you've talked about increasing poverty. But crucially...
Can I just... wait a minute, Nigel.
Yeah.
Can I just
Are you
challenge
tired
on that?
there,
Because I know
John?
that's something you've said
Yeah,
before.
a little bit.
I have.
But you've got other people analysing your policies. and saying
Shalini
that
says
actually
Gonzo
the
was
top
one of her
10%
favourite
households
Muppets
would
because he
receive,
was the comedian.
under your policies, 28 pence for every pound.
Okay.
But the bottom 10% would only get 2 pence for every pound. So
Gonzo's
the richest
one
households
of
would
Shalini's
there'd be an increase of
favourites.
4.3% for them, but only 2.3% increase for the poor. So how is it benefiting the poorest?
No. In percentage terms, those that would benefit the most...
He sounds like you when you start going, no.
Well, not according to
Here's the group.
not according to other economists. You're saying
There you
actually it
go.
would be much more.
Well, we don't
in
think...
percentage increase.
We don't think that staff nurses in hospital should pay 40% tax, right?
I agree.
People have been dragged in...
I
to
don't think
higher and higher
anybody
taxes.
should
But
pay
just to check,
40%
so you're saying
tax.
my figures are wrong, are you?
In percentage terms, they're wrong, yes.
Okay, so that's the IPPRs
Yeah,
coming
they're
up.
wrong. The biggest percentage winners are the lowest in society in terms of income. And let me tell you...
I think he might be getting numbers
9.2
and
million people
percentage
working age
confused.
not working.
I don't know.
They're not all layabouts. There are many people, I bet we all know people on benefits who'd love to get back to work. But if they work for more than 16 hours a week, they lose their benefits. They're better off staying on benefit than going to work. They're the winners. They're the winners out of starting tax at £20,000 a year. Mums with small children and many others. And I tell you what, that would do more for the poorest in society, more than any of the other parties have even considered or discussed.
Perhaps.
The back there, yes.
Perhaps.
So, I'm a doctor in the NHS. My parents and myself were migrants to this country. You've said that the reason that there's waiting lists for the NHS, there's not enough houses, there's not enough, the cost of living's too high, is because of migrants. But since Brexit, there's been shortages of critical medications in the NHS, from what I understand, because of supply chain issues, such as IV paracetamol and other medications that...
Is she speaking from a position of strength here?
I don't think so.
That we have to
Doesn't sound like it. That sounds like a plant.
Propose that we should do about this?
Well, not only that, supply chain issues have nothing to do with Nigel.
I wasn't blaming migrants. I was blaming the population explosion. You know, I mean, we've had a 10 million increase in the British population since 1997, a 6 million increase since 2010 when the Conservatives
There's
were
not
elected.
enough of certain types of medications.
In terms of medication...
Is because too many people are using them. Is that what you're saying?
The reason we have a waiting list...
I mean, that would definitely contribute to
She's
it.
asking specifically about the difficulty. No, you're asking very specifically, because you mentioned paracetamol and ibuprofen.
Well, here's the point.
Well, there's no shortage of paracetamol.
Paracetamol and ibuprofen, it's medications that are critical
yeah,
to
there have
keep people
been.
alive.
And you're saying, in your experience, that Brexit is either wholly or partly the reason why...
And I can tell you, paracetamol on the IV actually works.
Before the vote, we get all sorts of diseases if we voted Brexit. But here's the point. Freed from the European Medicines Agency, and thank goodness we are. And if as a doctor you believed in the vaccine rollout, of course, you'll have noticed, and there are questions about it, but you'll have noticed our vaccine rollout was way ahead of Europe. Why? We'd left the European Union.
Nigel, in fairness, you're not at all answering her question. Her question is about a shortage of
question's
medicine.
We now are
fucking
free from the
weird.
European Medicines Agency to
Well,
run
it's
our
got
own
nothing to do with him.
procurement policy, which means
He's not been in
we can
government.
buy whatever
I
drugs
know.
we need from
It's like,
anywhere
I
in
don't...
the world
Just turn
without
around,
having
Nigel,
to
and
get
say
the
you don't
medicine.
fucking know.
Well, if it's not working, if it's
I
not
can't
working, it's
see.
rather like
I
back to
can't
the
see
earlier
the
point.
chain of
We are now free.
production.
We're in charge.
I'm
Just
not in
say I
charge
don't
of any of
know.
this.
Anywhere in the world. If the NHS is failing to do that, that's on them, not Brexit.
Man here in the black t-shirt.
How much better off are you because of the taxes you don't have to pay through the UK leaving the European Union?
Huh?
I'm not. I'm not.
He's not.
No, the opposite. You're all poorer because the tax burden is now, for working people, is now the highest since 1948. And this is the trickery. I mentioned earlier about staff nurses. 40p tax was the top rate of tax in this country, right? From the mid-80s right through to the end of the time.
That's true.
And 1.5 million people.
And that's still too
paid that
much,
top
by the
rate of
way.
Tax. Because of sleight of hand and freezing allowances, by the end of 2027, it'll be 8 million people paying that level of tax. Fascinatingly, both Labour and Conservatives agree they're going to keep the tax bands frozen. You will all be paying more tax under the next government, whether it's Labour or whether it's Conservative.
One now.
Because they're a
We heard from the
uniparty.
Green Party before you, and to me they felt full of hope. Listening to you feels full of fear. Does it bother you that you give an atmosphere of fear and perhaps people vote for you because they're worried about what will happen?
I want to help the poorest in society, lift them out of society, get people off benefits, which won't just help them economically,
I'm
but
stunned.
psychologically too. I want to get a grip on the population explosion so that for the NHS and others, we can start to catch up. I want our young people, our small businesses to be free from regulation, to become more
I'm lost for
profitable.
words.
Actually, what I'm offering...
I'm still laughing.
Is, and look, we know
Oh,
Labour are
good
going
God.
to
I
win.
wish this was
Emma,
alcohol.
she might not have been asleep, but I was nearly asleep.
What I'm offering
with the Green
is
Party
a
guy.
platform to campaign on for the next 5 years. It is positive, it is optimistic, it is about building a better Britain, but recognising that right now it's broken, and the two parties, two leading
Thank God,
parties
we've only got
have
3
no
minutes to go.
solutions at all.
And then we can really get into the meat of the show.
Nigel, how do you
Yeah.
plan to pay for it? Like,
how you going to pay for it? Nigel,
You want to hang on for the next part.
Conservative and Labour.
Oh, you do.
know, they're not offering.
Yeah,
all
you
these things
definitely
you're
do.
offering, so how do you actually plan to pay for it all?
Fair dues. By the way, I won't call it a manifesto, because I think the word
But
association
it is
with
a
manifesto is
manifesto.
lie. So I'm calling it a contract.
Yeah, but just to be clear, a contract has a legal status, so the people here potentially could sue you if you don't do what you say. So you might
They
call it a
didn't
contract, and by any
sign it.
definition, it isn't one.
I'm always prepared to take
It's more like a manifesto.
Well,
Point number
see,
one,
a verbal
and
contract
that
can be
goes
binding.
on between the Bank of England and the banks with their money. I'm not a big fan of the banks, as some might know. That's costing up to £35 billion a year. Point number two, the HS2 project, which is just hopelessly out of date for the modern world.
Correct.
I'd scrap the rest of that, we'd save £35 billion. But
So-
the big one,
So you're just going to leave all the HS2 that's already been built, that's all just going to be scrapped, all the
well,
construction
very
yards
often
everywhere,
in
that's all
life,
there.
very often in life, the first cut's the best cut. We started off with HS2 with an estimated bill of 38 billion.
It's gone well
Suddenly
beyond
it looks
that,
like
hasn't
could
it?
Be up to 150 billion.
So money down the drain then, essentially.
Yes,
Well,
but rather
yeah,
than putting more
but
down
what?
the drain-
Nigel
Why
didn't
put more?
spend
What is
it.
this?
That's like pour. You don't
Both
pour
parties
more
want to
money,
decarbonise
good money,
the
more good money after bad.
We're told
Exactly.
by Labour we can do up to 2030. We're told by the Conservatives we can do up to 2035. We can't. It's literally impossible. It is going to be the single
This
most
is true.
expensive thing we have ever done in the history
You
of
cannot
these
decarbonise the grid.
comfortably save £30 billion
Can't do
a
it.
year by growing up and being sensible.
Can't
and
do it.
recognising if we want carbon-free energy, reliable,
He's saying
not
what I've been
intermittent,
saying for years
carbon-free
here.
energy, the only
Nuclear.
way to go
Nuclear.
is small modular nuclear reactors.
Okay,
And that's the future that I foresee.
I'm afraid I have to
That's
cut you off
correct.
there, Nigel. Forgive me.
That-
Our time is up.
That
Thank
is
you
it.
very much.
I'm,
Thank
you
very
know,
much,
I'm
Nigel
not a
Farage.
fan of
Thank
any
you very much to our
politician.
audience. That is it. Question Time will be back
I'm not.
next Friday,
Right.
not Thursday. Of
Enough
course,
of
that's
that.
polling day. On Friday, we'll be in
Hold on a
London
minute.
picking over the actual election results. Who knows where we'll be then?
All right, enough now. You can take her away. In fact,
Bye, Fiona.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Well, that was another question time, but don't go anywhere.
Could
boys
you
and girls.
stop sharing?
I have done.
Oh, I don't know what's going wrong. Why you're still there? Can you still see?
Yeah.
It's strange.
I've stopped sharing.
Don't worry. How's that?
That's better, yeah.
Need a producer.
Need a producer.
Need
a producer. I've stopped sharing anyway.
Right, what are you doing?
Well, I'm telling them not to go anywhere because...
Don't go anywhere.
I'm stealing your bit. Trump versus Biden. No, I'm not going to steal your bit, John. It's
Just do
Friday
it.
night. It's John and Ben. It's all in.
That was shite.
I know.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah.
I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe.
So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, hearts full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop up.
Fuck you, you're lost.
Lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to. Something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to. Something I can't undo.
I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe.
So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
Ha!
There we go. Welcome to All In, the next portion, and we're basically going to be talking about.
We need a producer because you once again when we do this bit we're meant to be big screen.
Yeah, well, okay. Does it really matter? You can still hear us, so fuck off.
There we go. Look at that. We did it. We did it.
Yeah. Right. What are you going to talk about?
Well, I think we've got to talk about the absolutely diabolical debacle that was the presidential debate, right? Between Donald John Trump and Joseph R. Biden. Well, the shell of Joe Biden, the form of Joe Biden, the figure of Joe Biden, the mind's gone. It's gone, John.
Yeah.
It's gone. So did you get a chance to actually,
I didn't
sit
get
back
to watch
and-
it all. No.
do you have some key clips, or
No.
did you have any images?
No.
So you've done nothing?
No.
Jesus Christ.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
God. Oh my
Let
God.
me ask the crowd, what did Trump do?
And the crowd got it right and she got it wrong. She said lie and the crowd said nothing.
Yeah.
And Joe, meanwhile, is standing there vacant.
I mean, that clip, by the way, was real. Wasn't AI.
He's
it wasn't
vacant.
He's vacant. He's just when am I going to get my cookie? Joe do
So-
good? Joe do good?
So I think the problem is that actually what they used to say has now come true.
In so much as?
Well, the lie that they used to spin that Jill was the babysitter is now true. Jill is the babysitter.
She's more than just the babysitter. I'm going to say something here that's probably quite hyperbolic, but I'm going to say it. She's the perpetrator of elder abuse upon her husband. That's what she is. She's the perpetrator of elder abuse upon her husband. Because even that clip there that you just played, John, even that clip there is so condescending to him. It's like a kindergarten teacher going, "Well done, well done. You wrote an A. Good for you."
I know. And the thing is, he knew he was getting praised, but he didn't know what for.
No, he didn't. He didn't. I mean,
Don't worry about it. Keep going.
I've got some notes. I wrote some notes because I was just in absolute bemusement of what was going on. I'll give you my first note that I wrote here. It says, Trump managed to be a lot more muted and yet still as bombastic as ever. Was not answering the questions asked, but was reserved in order to give Joe enough rope.
Well, there's a couple of things though, because they weren't allowed. Well, the mics were muted when they weren't speaking. Yeah.
Yeah, but by muted I don't mean muted.
Yeah, I know, but you meant he was kind of restrained.
Calm, restrained. Yep.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, he didn't get the opportunity to interrupt, and
he didn't need it.
He didn't. Well, exactly. He didn't need to because, and it's like Johnny Vedron made that tweet earlier today about, Biden made some really obvious gaffes and Trump didn't go for them, and sometimes it's better just to let your enemy. Just better to let your enemy do all the work.
I mean, going back to what you just said, I've got here, debate was set up in such a way that it should have helped Joe Biden. Mics were muted while the other one was talking. No audience in the room. CNN anchors like Jake Tapper as moderators.
No earpiece.
No earpiece.
They weren't allowed earpieces or
and no
auto cues.
pre-written notes.
Yeah, so Joe was screwed.
Yeah, he was. I mean, once again, Biden appeared frail, old, and demented. With dementia this morning at the time that I wrote this was trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because that's what people are looking at, and that's what people are seeing. And I go back to the elder abuse thing. Jill had to lead this man off the stage at the end of the debate. It's on film. She has to come up to him at his podium, take him by the hand, and lead him away. Okay? Yeah. It's so sad to see. And no matter what you think of Joe Biden, no matter what you think of the stuff he's done, the stuff he's said, he's very, very clearly, and I've had family with dementia, he's very clearly going through at least massive cognitive decline. And I don't know why that's so hard for people, including Jill, including the Democratic Party, to admit. Because it's clear for the world to see. The world has been seeing. The emperor has no clothes, or
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. It is quite obvious, is it not?
It is. It's quite obvious. I just don't know, because before I go back to my notes, I think we should make a point that it's been reported before we came on air tonight that Barack Obama and Joe Biden's own chief of staff are sitting down with him and trying to get him to graciously pull out from the presidential race. But Jill is saying no. Jill is saying no.
Yeah, see, Jill shouldn't have any say in this.
I think Jill's got some kind of power of attorney over him.
Wow. If that was true.
Then she's the president.
Yeah, then she is the president, and that maybe explains why the country's in such a freaking mess. Because I don't think Jill's the smartest tack in the box.
Well, no, and look, let's look at the people that support the Bidens. Let's talk about Whoopi Goldberg for a minute, who said Jill Biden should be Surgeon General on The View. Remember that? Said you, oh, Dr. Jill Biden's a wonderful doctor.
Yeah, but she's been fired.
Who, Whoopi?
Yeah, The View's gone.
Yeah.
They're canning it.
Thank God. Thank God. I mean, Joy Behar, or whatever her name was.
Yeah. Right. So there's a couple of things, and I mean, someone that I follow on Twitter I had a brief discussion with him earlier, and they say that if they pull out Joe now, there are a number of states that he's already on the ballot, and you can't change the ballot.
Correct.
So if they take Joe off, if Joe pulls out, then they have to have what's called a write-in. So people have to write the candidate's name in and then tick the box for them.
No, fair enough. And then that makes counting a lot harder.
It does. It makes it a manual process. But the problem is...
It should be a manual process.
Well, yeah, it should be. But the problem is that some people just won't do that. In which case, you end up with either a spoiled ballot or no vote.
A Trump presidency.
Yeah. And in which case, the Democrats will be beaten, if this is what happens, will be beaten by their own incompetence by not having him off the ballot before everything was set.
Agreed. John, do you have the Big Mike clip?
I do.
Do you want to play them CNN's Big Mike
clip? Who won the debate, we asked debate watchers in our instant poll, and the answer is a resounding Donald Trump did. 67% of debate watchers in our poll say Donald Trump won the debate tonight. Joe Biden, 33% say he won the debate tonight. I mean, guys, at this point, I don't give a shit if they bring out Gavin Newsom or maybe Hillary Clinton or even Big Mike. I mean,
if you stop talking,
Michelle
you might actually
Obama.
get to hear it.
I don't know why I said Big Mike. Back to you, Jake.
Why do you feel the need to talk over it all the time?
Because I'm just pre-warning people that it's AI.
Yeah, but you're not pre-warning when it's you're actually talking over it. Right. So yeah, it was funny. It's funny.
I'm rolling my eyes at you, John.
You can roll your eyes all you want, mate. I'm fucking losing the will to live here.
I know you are. I know you, and I'll tell you who else has lost the will to live. Joe Biden. He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know where he is.
Well,
I mean,
the other thing about the ballot is apparently you can change it if the candidate dies.
I mean,
I'm just putting it out there.
I'm not going to lie to you folks. I'm surprised he's still living currently.
Yeah.
I didn't think he would make it through his first term. I'm not going to lie. I did not think he would make. There's still time. But you know, we got till January.
I don't think he would either, to be fair.
So I'm going to read out my next note here, and I'm wondering if you've got it. It says, Trump has already released a campaign ad from the debate of all of Joe's gaffes.
No, I don't have Trump's campaign ad. Do you want me to see if I can get it?
If there's...
Is it on YouTube, do you think? I've got a presidential... Oh, no. You know what? I can't be bothered.
Yeah,
this whole Farage... This whole freaking election thing, it's really does it just get you down?
Yeah, of course it does. Of course
I mean,
it does.
because... I mean, we try and make the best of it, but, you know, it's pretty soul-destroying no matter what happens here, and it's going to be a mess. And the thing is, we've got to live through it for the next 5 years.
Yeah, and so do our children. We, me and you here have got children. Many in the chat have got children. And ultimately, especially here in the United Kingdom, for example, your two main choices, Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer, are not going to make our kids' lives better. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything. The only people that can make our kids' lives better is us. And you know what? There are times I'm going to be a bit narcissistic here and self-insertion. But there are times I wish I could just go and work a 9 to 5. I wasn't unhealthy and I didn't know whether or not my health was going to be bad from day to day and I wasn't all that medication. So that I could actually make sure that my kids were in a position to at least, be okay. But I don't know. I don't know. And like Emma says, she worries about her young family. We all should worry about our young family. We are surrounded by people in this country. And if you're a citizen of the United States, you are also surrounded by people who are looking to these people to make your lives better. They're saying, what can you do to make my life better? They can't do fuck all to make your life better. That's the genuine, honest answer. And if you're looking to some random man you're seeing on TV that you're going to tick a box for to make your life better, I can't help you. I have sat here, debate after debate after debate after debate over these past few weeks, and all I've got from it is they're a bunch of self-serving narcissists who want to line their own pockets, make sure they're all right first, and will tell you everything that you want to hear in order for you to check that box. And do you know what? Nothing's changed. That's the way it's always been. That is the way it has always been. And yet people fall into the trap and fall for it every single time because they don't see any other way out. They don't see what's wrong. They don't see it's the system that allows this to keep going on. But ignore me. Ignore me.
Well, I don't want to ignore you, mate, because you're right. You're actually right on this occasion. I don't know. I don't know if this is it or not, but let's have a quick look at this.
This is the Jim Heath channel playlist of 2024 campaign ads.
Biden circle.
When you think about Joe Biden, ask yourself a question.
This is the Jim Heath channel playlist of 2024 campaign ads.
When you think about the Joe Biden you saw in the debate,
one, but it's still funny.
Ask yourself a question. Do you think the guy who was defeated by the stairs, got taken down by his bike, lost a fight with his jacket, and regularly gets lost, makes it 4 more years in the White House? And you know who's waiting behind him, right? Vote Joe Biden today, hit Kamala Harris tomorrow.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Yeah, I quite like that.
I like that one, yeah. I do like that one. I will say this. Trump and Farage, right? They're good at this shit. They are good at this shit. They're good at the memeing. They're good at the taking the piss. They are good at honing in and trolling, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
I heard that there was a few other people, during the Biden debate on the phone to each other.
Yes. I'll tell you what. Let me read you. And I quoted this verbatim from Ben Shapiro that he tweeted during the debate. He said, "I underestimated Biden. I thought he had stage 2 dementia. It's actually stage 4."
Yeah. The guy's lost it. I mean, he's just completely gone. I really I feel for him to a degree because he was a nasty piece of work when he was younger. But he's just what would you? I cannot believe, Ben. I cannot believe that the United States of America,
greatest country in the world,
proudly puts that up there as the leader of the free world.
Well, yeah, but I don't think the United States of America does proudly put that up there as the leader of the free world.
Having said that, when you see the amount of comments from the Democrat-type lefty-leaning people about Biden on Twitter,
they all agree.
What?
I mean, Cenk Uygur, the host of the Young Turks, he thinks Biden's demented. He thinks Biden's not fit to stand. He's Democrat.
Forget people, right? Forget people that are social commentators. Just talk about normal people, normal lefties, right?
Mm-hmm.
normal lefties still rave about Biden and how great he is and what a great president is and how good a job he's doing. And it's all over Twitter. All over. See, you probably don't see it because you're probably in an echo chamber, whereas I am not, because I deliberately don't go into an echo chamber.
No, but it's more that I stay off Twitter these days.
Yeah,
I barely use it.
I mean, I'm telling you, see the amount of lefties on Twitter that think Biden is doing a good job. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, but
and then the
what
amount of
job is
people
he doing?
Well, they think he's running the country.
I mean, the cost of groceries has probably more than doubled under his premiership in the United States. Inflation has gone through, off the wazoo. It's gone. The price of gas is going through the roof. Even what Americans call expensive petrol for your car is fucking dirt cheap compared to what we pay here in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, they don't know how good they've got it when it comes to that. Jeez, their cars have been drinking good for the last few years or decades even. And like Beats and Tape says in the chat, then people are really probably just supporting their team.
Well, I think they are, but that's the problem. People will support their team, and it doesn't matter if they put a stuffed dog up there. That stuffed dog's going to win.
I mean, but during the 2020 election, I saw articles from left-leaning organisations that said, all we need you to do, Joe Biden, is not die.
Yeah.
I mean...
That is true.
I remember them. Is not die.
I remember those articles.
That's real. That happened. Right?
But having said that, that debacle last night did him no favours.
No, it did. It did no. I mean,
no favours whatsoever.
I've got to keep referring to my notes because I actually wrote notes. I never usually do that, but I had to.
Yeah.
Okay. CNN host Joy Reid. My phone didn't stop buzzing throughout, and the universal reaction among Democrats was panic.
Yeah.
That poll you saw, that was a CNN poll of CNN viewers.
It was.
67% said that Donald Trump won.
That part was true. That was true.
Yeah.
And there is a conversation happening inside Biden's circle, and certainly a much more frank conversation happening inside the Democratic coalition. And I think there will be stories of a lot of concern about the performance tonight. And I think when you say conversations happening, what do you mean? I think people are talking. I think the conversations range from whether he should be in this race tomorrow morning to what was wrong with him. I mean, he has a cold.
He has a cold. He has a cold, John. That's what was wrong. That was the problem, John.
This is their opportunity, isn't it?
They have to. They have to.
This is the. I don't know how I can phrase this, right? But if they did a Boris on him, but he never came back.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like they did with Boris during the early.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What I've written here, and this was just my own thoughts in the air, will the 25th Amendment be in play? And you know what? I think after last night's performance, it's a possibility, because if they decide that he is unable to stand for office again, then surely they must decide that he is unable to execute the duties of the office of president immediately. They can't just say.
Did I not send you a tweet with that Texan congressman saying he was going to call for it?
Yeah. So the sitting congressman, he's going to call for it. But what I'm saying is, the point that I'm making is, if the Democrats have decided he is mentally unfit to stand in November, then that must apply to right now. So, boys and girls, if your own party thinks that you are mentally unfit to stand, they need to take the nuclear codes away from you. I'm just saying.
So, you do remember that he was found by a court as unfit to stand trial?
Yes, and did you know that today there is a vote going on in Congress to hold Merrick Garland, his Attorney General, in contempt of Congress and have him arrested? because it's directly related to what you're talking about, because the tapes from the interview the Department of Justice,
Oh, yeah.
have been subpoenaed by Congress, and Merrick Garland is refusing to turn those tapes over.
Yeah.
He is and if he's refusing to turn those tapes over, it means what's on them is bad.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah.
It means that, yes, there was no other determination that one could come to other than he was a demented old man and therefore was unfit to stand trial. That's what it must mean.
Yeah, yeah. Which means he cannot be fit to be president of the United States of America.
I mean, the only problem is if he is cooed under the 25th Amendment, your next option, your next president, ladies and gentlemen, is by default Kamala Harris, the first person that was out of the 2020 Democratic primaries because she was so unlikable and so unpopular. So there you go. There you go.
Nikki Haley posted a picture of herself on Twitter today and said, "Are you missing me yet?"
Nimrata. That's her name, right? Nimrata?
Yeah.
The woman that actively cheated on her husband whilst he was in away at war.
Yeah.
That woman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just saying, these things are facts. Sue me. Right? These things are facts. No, Nikki, we're not missing you yet. Believe me.
No, we're not.
And this is talking as your cousins across the pond. Remember, we are the outside looking in here, and we can see that this is an absolute shit show. We really do. Shalini says, "Don't think Boris Johnson has dementia, though." I will tell you what John meant by the end of this, because you may have missed it.
Yeah.
I will send you a WhatsApp and tell you what he meant.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back. Have you got any more clips?
Yeah.
All right, play some more. Let's see some more.
It's not Biden though. It's
It's been reported that at least 27 supporters of Just Stop Oil have been arrested all around the country in London, Gloucestershire, Oxfordshire, Devon, Essex, Manchester, Surrey, Sussex, Norfolk and West Yorkshire on suspicion of planning to disrupt airports this summer. That is being reported by the Metropolitan Police. 27 activists from the pressure group Just Stop Oil, the environmental pressure group Just Stop Oil, have said that they've been arrested all across the country, according to the Metropolitan Police, on suspicion of planning to disrupt airports and their activities.
Domestic terrorism.
Throughout the summer. We'll get more detail on that as we get it here on Sky.
So I actually replied earlier on to Just Stop Oil. I need to find what I sent to them. Give me a sec, because I don't want to get this wrong. They tweeted, revealed more raids footage. The police have so far arrested 27 Just Stop Oil supporters across the UK. This is not democracy. This is a police state. Help us replace tech seized by the police. Right? So, do you know what? I simply responded to them, and I think I think this is completely apt. I said to them, maybe publicly announcing that you were going to have your tantrums at airports wasn't the smartest idea, guys.
Yeah. So, what's his name? That guy. Do you know? Do you remember I made a video about Argentina?
Yes, a long time ago, but yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago. I think it was only about 99 or just under 100% inflation, and I said it was set to soar.
Yeah.
And it's now at 290, and now it's in recession. So all these people that are crowing about this guy Milieu are like, I mean, you fucking got it wrong. I told you this was going to happen. I told you Argentina was going to turn into the next Nazi Germany. Now, the next question though is, right, what do most countries that get into a high inflation rate and an incredible amount of recession do to get out of it? They fight their way out of it, right?
They have a nice little war.
Yeah. Argentina has previous convictions for going to war with a certain country, right?
Yeah.
And they've just bought a stack of F-16s off of, I think it was Denmark.
But listen,
what do they need F-16s for?
So they can take back the Falklands. But let's not dilly dally on that, because I actually have my own thoughts about Milei, President Milei. he seems to spend more time in everybody else's country except Argentina. He's on he's on some kind of global tour. He doesn't actually appear to be in Argentina at any point. So,
probably to save his skin.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would assume so. What else you got for me? Because
I didn't have time to build a show.
That's fine. Like we've been going for an hour and a half, so we can start to wrap it up.
Yeah, I just want to show you this though, because this is a bit of a classic. I just need to skip it over. I'll be with you in a second.
Okay, he's showing us a classic, which means it's not new, people.
No, it is new. It's
new.
It's a new picture, right?
Picture.
A picture. It's a picture.
I thought he was doing a video. The amount of time he's taking on it.
Shut up.
You make this too easy for me. You make it too easy for me.
Just line them up. So it's.
Is it done yet?
Why? Oh, it's two pictures. It's a picture.
Oh Jesus Christ!
There's a picture. That's one of them, right?
What's that meant to be a picture of?
Who do you think that is?
Hold on, I'm gonna have to make this big screen on. All right.
Who do you think that's meant to be?
Is that meant to be Kate Middleton?
No. I think you might actually have a better chance when you see the second picture. Right?
Go for it.
So the second picture is her mate.
Right.
And
okay. We didn't have the second picture loaded yet then?
No, we didn't. I didn't realise it was two pictures. I thought it was one picture.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So there's a second picture.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is that meant to be Meghan?
Meghan and Harry.
He looks like a fucking farmer. I'm going to go down to the farm. I'm going to start harvesting my corn, I am.
That's like these fucking pictures of the royals. They're just tremendous, aren't they?
Hey up, Megs. Come on there. Come on, Megs. Let's get on the combine harvester. Let's go and get in the harvest.
What colour is she meant to be?
Blue! She's an avatar! She's an avatar!
Oh, good grief! Yeah, I think we're losing our audience.
Adam says less Somerset racism. I tell you what now, Adam. I don't care what you think of me. I don't care what you think of my shitty accents. I really don't.
Yeah, see, if we had the producer, they could be doing all this shit in the background, and I'd be able to continue talking.
All you've got to do is cue up the outro. That's all you've got to do.
Yeah, the outro's...
Look.
Yeah.
You've done your bit. I will just go over a couple. I want to go over my conclusion from the debate.
Go on, man.
Ultimately, this debate was kind of meaningless and is happening before either candidate, so that's Joe Biden or Donald Trump, has been officially announced and selected as the nominee for president by their party, which is way outside of the norm for the presidential election cycle. That's true. Press the button. Right?
That's true.
I can only surmise that this was done as practice for the Democrats to see if Joe can actually hold his own on the debate stage, and if I were them, I would quickly be looking for ways to find a new candidate.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. Because don't they have like a multiple debate thing?
But they do them in the primaries, right? When they're trying to select
they've done them already, right?
Yeah, but they're sort of, the Republicans debate each other and the Democrats debate each other until they whittle down to one on each side. But the actual presidential debates are not done until after the national conventions, because it's at the national conventions when the parties select their candidate for president. So officially, Joe Biden and Donald Trump have not been selected by either the Democrats or the Republicans to be the nominee for president. Yes, they're the presumptive nominees because they won the primaries, but the primaries are ultimately meaningless. And I say that because if the delegates within the party convention want to vote their votes a different way, they can. Usually they abide by whatever the primaries are, because that's what members of the party who have come to vote want, but they don't have to. And so until that announcement is made at the RNC and the DNC, they're not actually candidates, and therefore the presidential debates don't happen this early in the cycle. So I can only surmise, as I said, this was done on purpose so that they can find a new candidate.
I understand that, but then why are they on the ballot and can't be removed from certain states? The whole thing sounds a bit convoluted and asked for tit.
Well, it is a bit convoluted and asked for tit, because remember, the United States is a constitutional republic. It is not a democracy.
Yes, I know that.
I'll tell you who don't know that. I'll tell you who don't
Joe
know
Biden?
that. A lot of Americans.
Yeah, they don't. They think it's
a lot of Americans.
Yes, Douglas Murphy, I concur with what you're saying, although I can't vocalize that. Well, I can't. If you'd let me finish, I can't vocalize it on the channel, because that kind of thing gets you noted.
Okay, so is that the keep on ...
No, it's the bit above.
Oh, okay.
Don't read it out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just remember the predictions made over the last God knows how many decades that have all been wrong. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, tens of hundreds of them.
I won't say any more than that. I won't say what those predictions were or what they were about.
Before we go though, you know, space weather man, right? You know, Ben Davidson.
Yeah, you say he's lost the plot.
He does seem to be losing the plot a little. He seems to be getting very aggressive with his followers, and he's gone super religious. He's talking about Satanism controlling the world and all this.
I don't want to talk about that. I'm not going to lie to you. If anybody wants to talk about any religious mumbo jumbo, I just don't want to hear it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He seems to be losing the plot. I mean it was fine when he stuck to science.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to believe in any deity or religion that you want, as long as you're doing no harm to others, that's absolutely fine. You do you. But I don't want to believe in any, and I don't want to talk about them. And I don't want to talk about, oh, this religion does this, or this religion does that. I don't care. I don't.
Well, I think I hear what you're saying, but I don't think that's a terribly safe approach. That's a bit of stick your head in the sand there.
A little bit, right? And I'll tell you why. It's just because I'm so sick of any ideology that wants to control other people.
Yeah, but that's the problem. They do. And I mean, they all do. You know that. I mean, even when you go down to cults and well, they are all cults anyway, really. You know. But yeah, it's the sand isn't a safe space, because the problem is they'll come up and grab you from behind. Anyway.
I mean, I'm just saying to you, in my view, a religion is an ideology, a set of tenets, a set of rules to keep people in line. That's what it is, in my view. But that, like I say, I'm not actually going to knock somebody for believing something. That's just my belief. Brit, mate, thank you, but that's not actually my name. It's not. So, it's not now and never has been.
Oh, right.
I got very defensive about that, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Don't worry, Brit, mate. You can call me whatever you like.
You can call him an arsehole.
You can. You can. You call me whatever.
I'm so tired. Why am I so tired?
I'll be whatever you want me to be.
Sure got a pretty mouth.
You sure got a pretty mouth there, John. Got a pretty mouth, boy.
Right. With that, like, share, subscribe, because that's free. And you are a bunch of tight bastards, apart from Shalini.
I didn't say it.
So
I didn't say it.
At least do that. Huh?
I said I didn't say it.
Right, you got anything else you want to say?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you for watching this little bit of a fun time tonight, I guess. Looking live. Yeah, we hope you've enjoyed the show. We hope you have subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. Click the like button. We are just finishing All In right now, Britmate. This is All In. So we did the title and the stuff first, and then we did All In. Right? We are done.
It's been a half-assed job tonight. You know, it really has. I'll give you that. But there's new content coming every day on the channel in the form of shorts, videos, and live streams. So we're here every day at the moment. Because we're trying to push.
We are here every day, and also there's pretty much daily content coming out on the Real Review UK as well, where you can find a nice day out from me and Natalie. And also remember, this coming Monday, me and Natalie are back once again with a new episode of the Monday Mock, where we can just laugh our asses off at shit we find on the internet. No politics, none of this shit. Just a bit of a laugh, a bit of fun, and me and Nat will be here to deliver that to you Monday. But on that note, I'm going to bed. So John,
yeah, and me. And it's been great for you.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah,
I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe.
So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, hearts full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop up. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to. Something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to. Something I can't undo.
I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe.
So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the